We had no idea.
Just so
How
you
would we have ever known?
turn on your cameras or you be counted absent.
You know, if they ever change it to where it doesn't say recording in process, though, we'll be like totally lost. Is it recording or not?
Where's the marker?
Can you not let us know? All right. Welcome to Comics in the Making. My name is Ryan Holgerson. I'm the creator of Slackmatic, and I'm joined, as always, by Levi Erickson, the creator of The Big. Levi, you found your cup in your comic.
And my comic. I have all the things here now.
uh, so before we get started, so we're gonna do a bit of a hot potato episode. But I did want to mention real quick. Earlier this week, we lost a brilliant cartoonist, Joe Matt. I feel like we're doing this too often. We talked about Dan Green, losing Dan Green a few episodes ago. But for people that don't know, Joe Matt passed away suddenly from a heart attack at age 60, way too young. And he's probably most well known for his autobio comic Peep Show, which I loved. He's definitely one of those very self-deprecating autobio artists, doesn't hold back, put stuff in his in his work that I would never dream of. That I would deem that's very private. But he, threw out a lot of stuff. I loved Peep Show. I followed him on Facebook, and he was always posting he wouldn't even post a lot of comics from him. He was always posting like vintage comics and stuff that he was collecting, stuff that he was selling. And I got home from work Tuesday night and was just kind of flipping through social media and saw someone write Joe Matt RIP, and almost thought it was some sort of weird joke at first.
Yeah.
And then dug a little deeper and saw that it wasn't. So obviously our condolences to his family. It's a huge loss in the comics community. So yeah, didn't mean to start off on a downer, but I definitely wanted to mention it because, man, I gotta tell you, it hit me hard.
Yeah.
We talk about we were joking last episode about both of us having our visits to the hospital and stuff like that, and then to have someone who's really not a lot older than us pass away suddenly, is super sad. So, everybody take care of yourself. And I'm not, I am not the example of that.
Besides, take care of yourself. Stop waiting for the right moment to do what you want.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Start now.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. For sure. So, all right, man, let's get into it.
All right.
You want me to go first? You want to go first?
I definitely want you to go first so I know what we're doing.
Okay. All right. So so for those of you that have not seen our hot potato episodes, what we're going to do is I've got a mystery question for Levi. We've got a question in the middle that was supplied by our audience. So if you have a question for us for an episode like this, please leave it in the comments so we can address it at some point. And then at the end of the show, Levi is going to have a mystery question for me. So Levi, what do you listen to, or what do you have on in the background while you are working on your comics?
Oh man, I hate to answer this.
I don't care.
because it's so lame. It's so lame.
It's not lame. Everybody cares about this. I wouldn't have asked you the question if I didn't want to know and if people didn't care.
Are you sure they care?
our audience is mostly made up of makers and creators. I bet you they want to hear it. I bet you they want to hear it.
Yeah. Okay, good, fair. I
Nobody cares.
sometimes I'll put a DVD on. The TV's over there, which is good because it's sort of at a greater than 90-degree angle. I have to like turn to look at it. But I'll put in like a movie I've seen 1,000 times, that I want to see another 1,000 times at least. So sometimes that will be the case, but for convenience, it's YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And mostly it will be like channels like Alien Theory, Clayton Fordy's Jurassic Park stuff, just doing deep dives, retro blasting about toys, or Rodden's Primal talking about Transformers stuff. That's a Generation Tech for Star Wars, although I can't watch it because I'm not caught up on Ahsoka. So all of his content's about that series. So I can't watch good old.
Okay, change of plan. The whole rest of the episode, we're just gonna talk about Ahsoka. Because I am caught up.
Get me up to speed. Good. That'll save me time because I don't have any time.
I'm gonna tell you all the stuff you missed.
Thank you.
I just can't believe they killed her in episode 4. It's crazy.
Well,
they named the whole show after her and then they killed her. It's weird.
I saw it coming. She should have had the high ground.
Oh, has Star Wars taught us nothing but the importance of the high ground.
Yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Sometimes I will put on records with the thought that makes me have to get up. But then again, I hate having to be made to get up because it may not be convenient at the time. But because I'll let myself sit. It was like when I was doing video game stuff. I would just sit and pulling handles on Unity, and I have bodily processes demanding to happen. I'm like, just a few more mouse clicks. Let me just get that. It's not scaled just right out.
Yeah.
So listening to vinyl LPs makes me get up and move to at least flip it.
Right.
But, like I said, I usually don't do that. Just YouTube and just keep them going.
Yeah. So so the reason I asked you was because recently, so I was very similar to you, to where I would throw on a YouTube video or something like that, like an interview with an artist, or a retro thing like you're talking about, or I would just throw on some like lo-fi hip hop, just background noise. But recently, and I'm thinking probably in the last month or so, I've been working in total silence.
Really?
Yeah. And I don't know why. And so that's why I wanted to ask you, because I've just been thinking about it lately.
Mm-hmm.
And how, why, artistically, how the creative mind works, like just what, like, I don't know what happened to where I was like, I'm just working in silence now. I'm not really complaining about it.
Yeah.
Because I'll tell you how it's helped me. And I'm not necessarily like pushing like, hey, you guys should work in total silence. Just for whatever reason, this is working for me right now. But what it's taken away from me, or what it's given me, is I don't have to make a decision about what I'm watching. Because inevitably what happens for me is I get on YouTube and then it takes me 30 minutes. And I'm really not exaggerating. It could take me 30 minutes to decide what do I want to start with. And I know as soon as I hit play, I'll just let it go and it'll just, it'll be what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But instead of doing that, now I'm sitting down and I'm just getting to work, and I don't even have to think about it.
It makes me think about like Netflix and the fact that
the same thing happens to me on that.
I've spent more hours scrolling through Netflix than watching any program
Yeah,
streamed through
me too.
Netflix.
Yeah.
Netflix.
No, I when well it so like I used to always fall asleep to something on the
Right.
TV. Um and I've in the past year, maybe longer, I've really gotten to the point where I just fall asleep to nothing. The room's completely dark. I've
Mhm.
got nothing on, and I just fall asleep. Sometimes my wife puts on music, uh, which is fine, usually as long as it's not too loud. Like I'm okay with that.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, no, I don't know. I was just thinking about it. Like
Yeah,
what,
I mean,
you
that's a good
know.
question.
So is there anything, and I guess I wanted to put this as a side note though. Is there anything you watch or listen to that gets you pumped up to draw comics?
Not in the sense that I know I can go and consume that to get me excited, but things just will.
Yeah.
Uh, I kind of know where I can go to, if I'm looking for that response, and it may not be every episode or every instance of that, media that does it, but when it clicks, it comes from that corner,
Yeah.
and I may not be intending to. I may have told myself, I'll just take the night off, and then I'll hear this. I'm like, nope, I can't after hearing that.
Yeah.
Um,
Right.
I'm ready to rock.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, no, I don't. I mean, there's a few documentaries about comics that if I watch it, I'm like, oh, I want to draw comics.
Yeah, yeah,
Sometimes if I listen to some interviews with cartoonists, it'll make me go, oh, I want to do that. I want to draw comics.
yeah.
You know.
I I tell you what does kind of make the rounds, um, and probably stands out because it's one of the very, very few things that I will go, okay, I'll put this on. And it's How to Draw Comics the Marvel Way, the video.
Oh, okay.
I've got the DVD. I used to have the VHS, but also you can watch it for free on YouTube, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And I got that. Someone gave that to me very early on. And so it just is a happy reference place in my
I
whole comics involvement.
I had the Todd McFarlane video where it's him and Stan Lee. Well, I don't know if Stan Lee was in that one,
The
but
comic
it was
greats, the comic book
yeah,
greats
yeah,
series.
it was definitely that same series. But I don't remember if Stan was in it, but it doesn't matter. But no, you know what? I don't think he was because he was definitely showing stuff from Spawn.
No, no,
Um,
he was it. They did one where they had all of them. They had
yeah,
McFarlane, Jim Lee,
Rob
Liefeld,
Liefeld. Yeah,
Will Spartasio,
yeah,
and
yeah.
Stanley was there, and they were kind of like
Okay, yeah,
talking about all this stuff, and like Todd McFarlane turns to the camera and goes, "Image Comics,"
yeah,
So, but it was kind of like no, it wasn't a Marvel production at
yeah.
all.
No, 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 no.
So
But I do. I had the Todd one. I got it for Christmas one year.
yeah,
I love that.
and
So
those
this
are
was
good.
so this is a perfect segue. I I did not plan this. We don't plan anything on this show. So our listener question, this was from like forever ago, and I'm gonna apologize because I forgot to get the guy's name. I should have gone back and I should have looked. And it wasn't like a direct name that I could look at in the comments. So you know who you are. But from several episodes ago, he asked if we had read The Art of Inking Comics by Gary Martin. And I had forgotten to respond in the comments. And I said, you know what? We'll throw it in for a hot potato. Now, I can tell you, I personally have not read The Art of Inking Comics by Gary Martin, but I have looked at other how-to books. So, so Levi, are you familiar with that book? And if not, what other how-to books would you recommend? And if any?
I'm just gonna check the archive. Uh, I don't I don't see that one, but when I was a student at SCAD, um, we had a not an inking class, so to speak, but well, shit, maybe it was inking. Um, Regardless, we had a lot of projects that we had to do, and our textbook was this.
Oh, okay, I've seen that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I don't really quite remember it. I mean, obviously, it's not used as a textbook, but there are certain problems that you could find in here that we were made to do in terms of we had to do like all kinds of different. Man, if you were prepping for this, I could show you like all the problems that we had to do. I have all
Never.
that.
Never do that.
But we had to follow a lot of people. Um there was one assignment that was 4 panels, all different, completely different different artists, different eras. Like the pogo strip was one of them we had to do.
Oh, okay.
Um
Beautiful inking.
oh yeah. Um all kinds of weird stylized stuff.
His
So
lettering's horrible. I mean, it's not horrible. It's amazing lettering, but like some of it's almost impossible to read.
yeah. But yeah, that was the textbook we were meant to get.
Yeah.
Um I I I don't think that there's any secret that any one inker owns. I think it's just the more you can pull from different inkers. I mean, there are fundamentals, of course, in relation to tools you're using, in relation to as an inker, based on the layout, how are you going to work that layout, and stay true to the storytelling that's contained by the penciler, or the breakdown artist or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think, it always irks me, and I have nothing against how-to books. I love, trust me, I'll get a how-to book if it's interesting me. What always irks me though, and I think it's probably more on YouTube than anything, and I think we've talked about this before, this, it's all clickbait, but every comic book artist does this,
yeah.
how to ink a comic book and stuff like that.
Every comic book artist
Yeah.
reads.
Right. And what they always miss for me is, and I'm sure there's exceptions, but what they miss for me is driving home that you have to do it over and over and over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
Can't just read a how-to book. You can't just watch a YouTube video. That might teach you the technique. You might be able to
Shows you the concepts.
practicing that technique. Yeah. That does not mean you instantly absorb the skill to do it. And I mention that because I think it can be frustrating for someone starting out who reads a book like this or takes a class or watches a YouTube video and they can't instantly do it.
Well,
because it takes time.
I think that's the selling point for these books, though. Why should I buy this book? Because you buy this book, everything you need, and I'm not saying that that's what that book is telling us, right?
Yeah.
But to sell these things, there's a hearty helping of, the secrets to what you want are in this. This is why you're going to drop, your $22.99. This is $22.99. Holy jeez. Wow. Okay. But I think I spent $10 for it because it was out in the world.
Yeah.
When I had to buy it. But but that's how you have to market it, right? Say, hey.
Oh yeah, no, I get it.
I mean, why would you say, oh, take the things in this book and practice for years? And maybe,
No, I get it.
You
No,
know,
no, no, and I understand you're not gonna put that in the advertisement of guess what, this is not actually gonna help you right away. So I understand that. I don't, it's just I still feel like when you get into the meat of the book
mhm.
or into some of these videos, I don't think it hurts to say, look, you're gonna have to practice this over and over again.
The only book that
Because
comes
you
to
need to
mind,
be like, it's, to me it's unfair. You're giving the impression that this is all you need and you're gonna get it right away.
yep. The
And
only
that's
book,
just not the case.
the only book, honestly, that I can think of that I've read that mentions that is How to Draw Comics the Marvel Way.
Yeah.
And they say also, they say, I mean, I know that book gets made fun of and it's probably, you know, well, it's definitely outdated. But
I yeah.
the stated purpose of that book is, hey, this is how you get attention from Marvel editors. This is what we're looking for. It's not how to draw great comics. It's not how to draw, how to render subjects very perfectly well. It's how to draw comics the Marvel way.
Yeah.
And it's a crash course in this is what we expect if you're trying to get a job with us.
Yeah.
And I do remember they said, practice. It's in the book, it's in the video. If it doesn't work, do it again. And it's the only book that I can think of that really mentions that.
Right.
I could be wrong.
Right.
This is
Yeah.
not
I
this is
don't
not
know.
a paid sponsorship.
No. I mean, I had How to Draw Comics the Marvel Way. That was probably my first how-to book. Um, I never had it. I always got it from the library. I don't remember the name of it. It was British, which was kind of cool because they would show a lot of stuff from like 2000 AD and stuff like that. Um, but it showed you how to letter. And all the lettering was like paste ups and stuff like that. So
Oh,
that was
cool.
kind of
Yeah.
cool, like showing that process. Lots of different, techniques for inking, so here, like they would show, here's cross hatching with a crow quill, here's a brush,
Mhm.
here's using both of them,
Yep.
stuff like that. I love that book. I don't remember the name of it. But I loved looking at it. Um, How to Make Comics by Scott McCloud.
Oh,
I've got it right here.
making
Or
comics.
Making Comics. I'm sorry, Making Comics.
Making comics.
Hey, mine's a little more beat up than yours.
Understanding comics.
Yeah,
These are
and then
you need a book.
he's also got Reinventing Comics,
That's cool. I haven't seen
which
that.
is a good one. Um, but I like Making Comics. I have the Eisner books, like graphic storytelling and sequential art.
Yeah, that one there is probably the most. If you want to look for one book to learn from how to make comics, I mean, it's a tough call between the McLeod and the Eisner book, but I think the Eisner book might speak to the more general audience who's interested. You know what I mean?
Maybe. I think I got more. I don't know. It's hard. It's hard for me to tell because Making Comics came out well into me already making comics. So, I think I got more from Making Comics just based on stuff that maybe I hadn't thought of
Yeah, all
before.
of them are conceptual.
Um,
Eisner book
yeah,
how to
you know what
draw.
I think's good about the Eisner books is they're so based on storytelling. They're really
That's it.
not based, you know, and I think that's the most important part of making comics anyway, is the storytelling, but he really gets into like the dramatic poses and stuff like that. And that's the thing, like when you're drawing comics, you know, everything really is, I mean, in my opinion, everything should be exaggerated. Even if you're doing like a dramatic, like romance comic or something, if someone's, yelling, if someone's having an argument and they're yelling at each other, you can't do it like you would do it on a TV show or a movie.
Oh yeah.
It's really just two people just like talking back and forth. You really got to find some dramatic angles. Maybe you're making that mouth like 3 times larger than what the mouth actually is. It depends on your style, but in comics, it really is all about the exaggeration.
Hmm?
And I kind of I think back to our manga episode where I think I mentioned the Junji Ito uh TV series on Netflix. I didn't think was very good, and I didn't think it was very good because they actually were too faithful to the comics. So and I think that's why that didn't work in a visual media like TV or movies, doing that exaggeration where it's like, this is silly.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you don't think about it when you're reading a comic. You need that exaggeration, so but yeah, no, that's interesting. So whoever left that comment, no, we have not read Gary Martin's Art of Inking, but I think we just listed a bunch of other stuff
Yeah,
um
100%. And
that we are into.
and I mean, I'll see if I can hunt one down in my library and
Yeah.
see what's in there.
And
So
again, it's still all about practice, practice, practice,
yeah.
for sure. All right, Levi, what's your question?
Okay, I got a good one for you.
Okay.
So when you were a kid and living with your parents, what comic did you not want them to find in your collection?
Okay. Oh,
Yay!
oh, all right, let me think about this. Well, okay, so I'm trying to remember. Okay, so I definitely remember getting some. Do you remember the comic Samurai?
I mean, I feel like I do, but it's not. I mean, Samurai is such a.
Who did what was the company Dale Keown worked for and Dave Cooper
Oh,
before they hit it big?
he's.
Aerosol,
Oh,
Aerosol,
what's that?
Aerosol,
Okay, yeah.
Aerosol. I'm pretty sure Samurai was put out by Aerosol. And so I remember finding that in like a quarter bin. And it was super violent. And I'm pretty sure it had nudity. And I also remember, I think I had a book. It might have been an Epic book. Epic was usually a little racier than like Marvel or whatever. It might have been Epic. Maybe it was Pacifico. It was a weird superhero book. It was not Marvel, it was not DC.
Yeah.
But I remember there was a scene where two of the superheroes slept together. Um and it was not graphic. I mean, you didn't see anything.
Yeah.
So I remember and I definitely didn't want my parents to see that. That was probably a moment of like getting in the back seat of the car after buying them and flipping through it and then going,
You want to see it like
oh,
right now.
yeah, I've got to hide this under the mattress. Um,
But then that's not where you want them to find it. You have to think about it. Like, well,
yeah,
if they find it in the mattress, then that's too much association. I need to put this someplace else. You
I
know.
wasn't. I wasn't. Uh, okay, all right. And then so those are probably the first ones, but so for sure, Sin City. I was buying Sin City as soon as it came out. So there's definitely stuff in Sin City. There was probably some stuff in Spawn that I was probably trying to keep away from my parents.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was brought up very religious. Um, So some of that stuff I was probably trying to keep away from. And then when I got to the tail end of living with my parents, so when we're talking 18 and 19, you know, by then I had some Crumb, I had some S. Clay Wilson Checkered Demon, which I was definitely not letting my parents see. It's actually in the trunk of my car right now.
Yeah.
I you know what, I was moving it and then I just never got it out, and I keep trying to think of a place I can put it in. This is something I'm hiding from from my wife and my daughter.
Not anymore.
I'm only joking. They don't care. But if you've never seen the Checkered Demon, it is super, you know, it's an underground 70s comic. You know, so stuff like that. But you know, I was on my way to moving out of my parents' house by then. So I don't know if I would count that. I probably wouldn't care so much if they saw it. I mean, shit, I think they bought it for me for Christmas. I don't even they were like, what do you want for Christmas? Oh, I want all these books, and you know, they ordered them for me.
Nice.
Yeah, it was all from like Last Gasp, you know. So I mean, every you know, it was all like adult only, like plastered all over them. So you know, they didn't care.
Yeah.
So I don't know. So what about you? What about you?
Dirty pair.
Oh, okay. Oh,
I never even owned one, but my buddy Ross, he he was into that, so I'd borrow him, you
yeah,
know, and like I was like, when can I read this? You
yeah,
know, because my luck, as soon as I crack it, that's when the door opens, and you know,
yeah,
dad wants to come, you know, someone's gonna come tell me something, you know, little sister's gonna wander into the room. What are you reading? You know,
yeah,
of course, by way of hiding it, you know, from her. Now she's got to go tell mama.
yeah,
You know, it doesn't even matter what she saw, if anything. Just the fact of my action of responding. You know, I was like, oh, I've got to go tell somebody about this. Something's going on in here. So it was, it was the most anxious. I probably read them on the bus, and that was only if I could get the very back seat by the emergency door. That way, I knew no one was like looking over my shoulder.
yeah, yeah. I never read Dirty Pair. Is it really that bad?
I mean,
Or is it just that bad to like
you're asking the question.
virgin eyes that have never seen that before?
You know, yeah, yeah, you know, and the whole construct of who you are as a kid, as a 14, 13, 14-year old, and then like, oh no, they don't know that this is something I want to look at.
Yeah. Oh, I
You
know.
know,
Yeah.
they're gonna be just probably gonna talk to me about something that I already know about, and I don't want to hear it from them. You know,
Yeah.
so I didn't
Mm.
think I was gonna get in trouble. I just didn't want the
Oh,
follow
yeah. Right.
conversations about, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
So
Man, I remember the first time I saw images from Akira,
mm,
and I'm talking about the movie, not the
yeah,
manga. Um, I mean, I was probably 11, maybe. And I remember it very clearly, though. It was actually a review on Siskel and Ebert. I remember my grandparents were visiting, and them and my parents were all sitting. They were sitting around the kitchen table just having breakfast. And Siskel and Ebert would come on like really early. And I was in the our family room with the TV on and stuff like that. And I saw them interview or reviewing this movie Akira. I had no idea what it was. I don't know if I had ever seen anime before or what I would recognize as anime.
right.
And the scene they showed was the scene when the guy is in the middle of the street
Yeah.
and he's mowed down by the army and he's shot like 30 times full of holes and there's blood everywhere. And I had what the fuck were you thinking, Siskel and Ebert? Like what? Like that was the scene you were like, hey, let's show this, you know. Uh so I remember seeing that, and I mean, I was traumatized. I'd never seen animated violence
Yeah.
on that level. You know, I mean, I'm used to Ninja Turtles. I'm used to
Yeah.
He-Man, G.I.
Yeah.
Joe, Transformers, and now I'm seeing this guy get murdered on a street by a bunch of M16s, and oh my god, yeah. I mean, and I'm not joking, dude. I was fucking traumatized for a while. It took me a long time to, you know,
we're,
finally, finally see Akira.
we're like your family going, oh look, Ryan, a cartoon, a cartoon.
Oh, I know. Yeah, yeah. When'd you watch this? No, I haven't watched it. Oh my god. Well, I remember, you know, and they used to Sci-Fi Channel. They used to play anime like really late at night.
Yeah, yeah.
Once I got older, of course, I wanted to watch it, but they would play like Vampire Hunter D. And I remember seeing Vampire Hunter D, but it was highly censored. And then I saw like the uncensored version of it and was like, oh my god, like it was nuts. Yeah, that
Nice.
was a good question, Levi.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
dredged up a lot of memories, and
A lot of awkward feelings, a lot of
I don't know. I can't believe we didn't mention the man thing in this conversation.
I didn't, you did.
All right, Levi, what do you got available for sale?
Right now, I have a few of these left. It is the first chapter of the big 12 issue Ashcan preview of the floppy that is forthcoming this year, 22-page comic. The first of a planned 4-issue, but it looks like it might end up being a 6-issue limited series all about America's biggest legend, our good friend, the Sasquatch.
Absolutely. And I have a Book of Things. You can order this at my link tree directly from Amazon. It's 152 pages of abstract comics. And also on my Etsy shop, I'm running dangerously low on pizza nights. So if you're interested in a 70s or 80s homage to bad vampire movies, check that one out. It's only $5 and I'll draw in it. There you
Got
go.
mine. I got mine.
Got
So
his. I'm dangerously low and I'm doing a zine fest here in about a month. So there's a good chance I'm going to sell out of those there. So go ahead and order them now because I'm not going to reprint them anytime soon.
not at all.
All right.
Ryan, do the
Yes.
honor.
All right. Do the damn thing.